What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back to another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Star Wars Black Series Book of Boba Fett Fennec Shand action figure. This is a figure I was not expecting to get so early. It was just recently shipped to me. Yeah, pretty excited about getting her out of package. Fennec is kind of a character I've been wanting since Mandalorian Season 2. So, but yeah, here she is in packaging. There she is a little bit up close and personal. Up close, Ming Na Wen, right here on the ODC channel. But here's her side artwork right here. Looks really cool. Looks nice. You can definitely see the mountains of Tatooine in the back. Over here, we've got a little read-up on Fennec Shand, which is just insulting at this point, these read-ups. It's like, why even bother putting that shit there? Anyway, here she is in packaging. Let's get her out. That's why we're here, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with Fennec out of packaging, and she looks pretty good. You know, she can, as you can see here, she can take a knee if she needs to. She does have single-jointed knees, so I think she really would have benefited from double jointed knees, but that's most of the Black Series is usually single jointed, unless you get to some of the older figures which were double jointed. They've pretty much switched to this single jointed knee situation here, but as you can see, if you stand her properly, she can still take that knee if you need her to. As far as getting the hand in the trigger guard, it was kind of a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie, kind of annoying a little bit. She's got these teensy little hands, and then trying to get her hand into that trigger guard, which does have a hand guard right here near the trigger. It's kind of a little annoying. She can look down the sights pretty nicely, and you're gonna kind of have to work with her mask. As you can see here, it's very closed, so a little bit of hot air or warm water can get that to open up a little bit more so you can actually see her eyes through the mask. And you also do have to sink down the mask quite a bit on her head just so you can get her to look through those eye slits right there. But once you kind of get it opened up and fed open, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. As you can see there, that's a really good look down as far as looking down the sights right there. I could probably work it a little bit more so it's really over there, but it's fairly good as far as that's concerned. So no issues really looking down the sights, and this should go well for photography, excuse me, action figure photography. Getting her to stand up is pretty easy. She balances nicely, so you don't have to worry about that either. She's not going to fall over for any reason. I don't have any issues with that. I trust that she's standing nice and tall, and yeah, don't have too many issues. She can hold her rifle resting and looking any which way you would like to have her look as far as a resting pose goes. If you want her without the helmet, you can slide the helmet off of her head. It is a very tight fit. I do want to kind of point that out as figures fall over the place. And I want to say there's a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe like a crease on her face, as you can see right there. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I mean, I would have preferred if she didn't have a crease on her face. That might actually be some of the paint scuffing off from the mask onto her face as I'm kind of lightly peeling it off. You can see a little bit has gone away since then, but I don't know. I guess I could chalk that up to the mask kind of fitting really tight on her head. I might have to go and just soften this up a lot more, just so she can have it, or just kind of pose her without the mask, or just kind of kneeling on top of the mask, or holding the mask, or whatever you want to do. Helmet, mask, whatever you want to call it. I guess I would chalk that up to a former battle wound right there. But she can hold everything fine. Like I said, no issues there. She also has a plastic strap on the rifle, so you'll be able to put that across her back if you need to. The face sculpt itself looks really good. It looks like Ming Na Wen. It looks really nice. And it is a little bit shiny with most real scan face technology. For some reason, Hasbro switched to this shinier finish. I brought up in my live stream the other day and in my Cobb Vanth review. So if you want to go back and check that out, you can. There's a Dr. Finish, I believe it's called, on Amazon. I think it's like 16 bucks that you can buy. And it's a matte finish with a UV protectant on it. And if you spray that a couple times across, it should kind of take that gloss away without affecting the face sculpt at all. So you can go that route as well if you want to. I'll probably do some sort of tutorial video on that so I can show you guys how to do it. But the hair looks really good. I like the hair sculpt. I like all the braids, the intricate braids she's got. It kind of reminds me of, what's her name? I can't remember her name. But regardless, the braids look really cool. I like this little kind of hair that's kind of going across her face right there. I don't have too many issues with any paint applications or lineup work or anything like that. But I like this nice braid. It's almost like a French braid going across the her back to the front of her here. It does rest a little bit high, but you can, obviously it's all plastic, it's all malleable. You can reform it any way you want or whatever position. The bodysuit herself, let me just get her rifle out of her hand, which is going to be, I'm regretting that initially because it's going to be a pain in the rear end to get that back in her hand. And just taking a quick look at some of the other details on the body sculpt, looks really good. I like this line work right here for the sculpt. And you can see all the texturing going on with a lot of the sculpt here. And it looks really good going up to the collared piece and all over the, I want to say near the chest area and on the shoulders here. We got a little bit of black gloss on each side, wherever there's kind of that darker glossy black. Looks really good. Kind of breaks up the monotony of just because most of her design is just black with a little bit of orange going throughout. So there's that. It looks good though. I quite like it a bit. And I like this little kind of like padded piece. I feel like that actually does make sense as far as resting your arm while you're sniping. So that could be pretty cool if she's in like a prone position. But the little bit of orange here, orange little tidbits here for some sort of like, I don't know, communicator or something. It'd be cool if we get another version of Fennec where you can like remove like her torso and see the inner workings right there. I think that would be awesome. Especially seeing as this is supposed to be Book of Boba Fett version, but you can kind of use both versions, I guess, for Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett. But I think it'd be pretty cool to see little inner workings there. Just a nice little touch, cute little gimmick for it, and it makes sense for the character, you know. Really nice detail going throughout the rest of her, like, I guess, kind of dust skirt piece here, or tunic, or whatever you'd like to call it, whatever. But the boots look pretty good too. The legs themselves, she's kind of got like these strap things going across her legs. And then there's these kind of like orange lines going throughout there too. Overall, I want to say that I do like a lot of her detail on here. There's a ton of sculpting detail on here. It's just a shame that she's mostly just kind of I don't know, I gotta say she's kind of like a boring design as far as her costume colors go. I mean, she's just black and orange, and there's like only like a little bit of orange. So the majority of her costume is black, and that's just by design. That's not on the figure itself. The figure itself is a great rendition of the actual design, but I don't know. I just always thought her design was kind of meh, you know, kind of boring a little bit. But I mean, I guess it also makes sense. She's an assassin. She's not going to go around in bright yellow and pink and blue and whatever. So it makes sense that she would be wearing black, but I don't know, maybe I'd like a little bit more color variation here. Some grays, brown, mixed with the orange and the black. I think that would have made a little bit more sense for her character design in general. But overall, I think the figure nailed it. Hasbro did a really good job here as far as that goes. Here are the rest of the accessories. This is her helmet right here. Looks really good. The only thing I kind of wish that this had was maybe a hinge joint on it, so it's not just like malleable plastic that you have to kind of spread apart. Because when it comes in package, it's shut tight like that, like a clamshell. So I don't know. I would have liked it if it did have like a little bit of a hinge on there, just so she can, you know, shut that, open it, and it's a little bit simpler and easier as far as the functionality goes. A little bit of paint apps here, black paint apps, a little bit of silver paint apps right there. The helmet design, I do like this helmet design. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like almost like a blast shield that you can see through. I do quite like it. It looks pretty cool. And then obviously the rifle itself, which is, I think it's a really nice design for the rifle. It does hint at some real worldism. That's kind of what you call it. Most Star Wars guns are based off of real world, but with that futuristic sci-fi kind of tone throughout the design. So I dig that quite a bit. I feel like it's a little bit on the flat side, the rifle. So if I could have, I don't know, maybe made this a little bit bulkier, just so it feels less, I don't know, flimsy and floppy. It's not as nearly as floppy as some Jazzware figures weapons, but there's just a little bit of orange right here for the gun. Everything else is just a black molded plastic, so very simple. The gun can fit on her shoulder here, across from her, and it does sit very naturally. Sometimes you get these weapons and they don't sit very naturally on the character, and then it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that didn't work out so well. So but this one, I gotta say, it sits very naturally, so I really like this. One other question I do have, and I'm not sure if this is just by my mistake in the design, but I'm pretty sure she has a Sidearm Blaster, which she doesn't come with a Sidearm Blaster, but I'm pretty sure that she does have it in the Book of Boba Fett, especially when she's chasing those assassins or you know, hired guns or whatever you want to call it. When she's chasing them on the rooftop, she actually does have a sidearm, and now for some reason this design doesn't. So maybe this is just the beginning of, you know, end of Mandalorian into the Book of Boba Fett, where maybe she didn't have it at that point, but I, for some reason, remember her having a sidearm. But yeah, so there's that. She can hold her helmet if you want to have her hold it like so. No issues there. And you know, she's just very simple when it comes to what she comes with. It's pretty much the bare essentials, but it's pretty much what you need for Fennec Shand. As far as Fennec's articulation does go, her head can swivel at a full 360 rotation if you needed to. It is on, I want to say it's on just a ball peg. There's a lot more Black Series using ball pegs nowadays than hinge joints like they used to. She does have that double points of articulation, where at the neck meeting the torso and then the neck meeting the head. So that is a separate piece right there. She's got some job turkeys up in here. So a little bit of job turkey there. She can tilt a little bit side to side, so a little bit extra right there. Arms go up about that far. They do go down. No butterfly joint, which is strange. I think for her, she really would have benefited from a butterfly joint, especially getting into sniper poses and stuff like that. But her arm can go up. That's maxed out. Full 360 rotation in the arm. She does have a single bend in the arm, but it's more than 90 degrees, much more than 90 degrees. So that's really good as far as that bending. Double joint, single jointed elbow. She does have a swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. She does have a lateral hinge joint there. She's a vertical hinge joint on the other side. So does have the diaphragm joint, which does hinge back, forward, swivels, tilts, side to side, all that fun stuff. She can do the splits fairly well. That's pretty good right there. This is a little bit of a harder plastic, but it is malleable still, and you can kind of hike that up out of the way, and that's maxed out right there. So still better than most Spider-Man action figures. Legs go forward, legs do go back, upper thigh swivel. She does have a single jointed knee, and it gets a little bit more than 90 degrees. Swivel at the knee as well. She does have a, ankle pivot. Points the heel, pointy toe, and ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes at the bottom of her feet. Okay, first up, as far as size comparisons go, we've got the NECA Lost Predator on the right, and then on the left, we've got the DC McFarlane Three Jokers Batman. Okay, next up on the right, we've got an Articulated Icons Ninja, and then on the left, we've got the Marvel Legends Shocker action figure from the Retro Wave. Okay, next up, we've got two female comparisons for you for Fennec. On the right, we've got the Marvel Legends Black Widow, and then on the left, we've got the Lightning Collection Trini. Okay, next up, we've got, continuing with the Lightning Collection, we've got Ecliptor on the left, and then on the right, we've got the Super 7 TMNT Casey Jones action figure. Okay, next up, we've got a Motu Revelations Fisto action figure on the left, and then on the right, we've got a Mezco Captain Nemo. Okay, next up for comparisons, we've got two other Black Series females here. We've got Jyn Erso on the right, and then we've got Dr. Aphra on the left. And next, we've got two Classified Series figures. We've got the Battle Android Trooper on the right, and then we've got Duke on the left. Okay, and next up, we've got a Motu Classics action figure in Vicor on the left, and then on the right, we've got the SH Figuarts Darth Maul. Okay, and last up with comparisons, we've got them with two male Black Series action figures. We've got the Heir to the Empire Luke Skywalker action figure on the Dagobah Luke body on the left, and then on the right, we've got the Tusken Raider. Okay, so for my final thoughts on Fennec Shand is, oh man, I would definitely give her a 2 thumbs up and a full recommendation. I don't know, I don't really see too many flaws other than I just think the actual character design, but that has nothing to do with the actual action figure itself. The action figure itself nailed the likeness of Ming-Na Wen, excuse me. The articulation's really well done. The helmet maybe could have been done a little bit better. Like I said, if they would have put a hinge joint in there, it probably would have made me a lot happier. Especially because of the tight fitment of that helmet makes me not want to put the helmet on her as much. And she's more so seen without the helmet as opposed to with the helmet on anyway. The rifle is pretty solid. I just wish the hands were a little bit easier to get the hand into the trigger guard, but that's more so I think the design of the actual rifle itself as opposed to the hand. Maybe if the hand was like a little bit longer in the fingertips, but then you don't want to have her do these long alien fingers. So I guess it's kind of a give and take thing right there. The range of motion, articulation, and sculpt work is top-notch on her. The face scan is very well done. I love the hair, too. The hair sculpt, the head sculpt, overall, in general, is really good. And I love the paint apps in the hair sculpt, too. Looks really well done. All the line work is pretty solid on mine. I don't really see any real problems or issues with any of the line work for the most part. So I don't know. I would definitely say that she's one of the better Black Series so far this year that I've got as far as accuracy, sculpt, detail, range of motion, articulation, and accuracy to the character design. So, like I said, I would definitely pick her up, and you're gonna want. I mean, if you're gonna want to pick her up because she's probably more of a big hitter now with some of the newer lore that's going on with Disney stuff. If you're a big fan of that. If you're not, then I would say pass on her entirely. If you're only into like the OT and maybe just the prequels, then I would say probably pass on her. If you don't care about Mandalorian and you don't care about Book of Boba Fett, then you can. But she's another really cool assassin character that we're getting to know and probably get to know better as, you know, the seasons go on and more content gets created. But other than that, I don't pretty much have anything else to say. I would say go pick her up, and definitely don't spend an exorbitant amount of price to get her. I would definitely just put your pre-order in, get her for retail. I think that's what she's worth. Other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.